many people tell me I have a very soft voice, and so I think Vinkat can testify. He's been there for many years. And so, okay, so if you don't hear me, just shout or throw something at me. Okay, so there's been many years I've been here, in 2007, and last year I was here, it was my birthday. So you guys really did something really great and was very heartwarming. So thank you again. I will never forget that. So it's not my birthday today, so don't stand up. Okay, so the agenda today, I want to talk, I mean, many of you still don't know what we do at JBoss and what is JBoss about. What is the takeaway for you? And that conference is all about takeaways. You know, you've seen great presentation from Vinit, from Scott, from many people who've been there working really hard to deliver to you the content you need to deliver your application better, faster, with higher quality. So these are things also we do at JBoss. So I will talk a little bit about that, and also how do we empower you? How do we enable you? Okay. And I'll talk a little bit about some of the advancements we do, especially around cloud, Docker, containers, and also how we assemble all these things for you. And the notion of enterprise open source. I think today open source, when I joined JBoss, and open source was not new already. I think in 2007, I used open source even in the financial industries and before 2000. So I think today it became mainstream. So I'll touch on that too. So again, that slide, I don't show it anywhere else. And some of you know what that means. That means that Bangalore is the #1 city in the world and to consume our technology. So there's at least 500 unique visitors on our JBoss project page that come from that city. And I think, thank you very much. Thank you. You can be really, really proud, I think. And not only that, there's, I think, 4 cities out of the #10 came from India, worldwide. Awesome, awesome. So that's what we call community-powered innovation, and that comes from you also. So what is all JBoss about? Is to help developers make their day-to-day jobs a lot easier. And not only that, but also enable them to, I mean, you had a question earlier, Vinkat, you know, when we do, when the pressure, the time's coming. So it's a pain point we face also, that everyone faces. What do I do to deliver good quality code, you know, that's efficient, that I can deliver faster and that runs fast. So I think these are and actually we categorize our product around, or our project mostly, around these 3 basic ideas, which is accelerate. What is accelerate? Allow you to develop faster, higher quality code, and also run it faster. So we've developed runtimes, and I'll talk about that later, Whitefly, for example, which is our Java EE runtime, that is extremely fast. Also, when all these pieces are developed, we also have products that allow you to integrate them. You know, we've been in that space for a long time. Traditionally, you know, people will develop monolithic applications and then move on to service-based. We've seen SOA, XML-RPC, you know, lots of people have been trying to wire everything together. So that's what we call integrate. Today we also have the notion of microservices, and you'll see in that conference a lot of people, and including Vinit in our group, will do demos at our booth and have, I think, sessions later today about it. And once all these pieces are integrated together, you want to automate. So I think all these notions is actually what is all JBoss about, and that's how we've been growing. Actually, already JBoss is 15 years old minimum, and so that's all the achievements. And also thanks to you, because I mean during that week I met lots of SIs, you know, integrators, customers, and we work together. Doesn't happen itself, and that's the most important. That's the core of our business, and that's what we call the wisdom of the crowd, the core of the benefit of the community-powered innovation. And there's no better crowd than Bangalore for that. So what's the developer advantage? I apologize for the small fonts, you know, but there's so many advantages. and for developers. I think, as I say today, is they want to write the application faster, deploy faster. And so JBoss used to be known as a Java/JSF shop, in the past. And that has changed, dramatically over the years. And Sebastian, who's here, who does demo on our booth, has a very strong Ruby and JavaScript background. We also have iOS and now Swift capabilities. So we've grown our runtimes frameworks to embrace exactly what you guys need, especially with mobile development, with the HTML5, the Angular, the jQuery and Angular/Ionic. So I think we follow that crowd. So we have the same, focus than you is how do I protect my development investments? So this is as dear to us than it is to you. Because not only our project is focused on driving innovation, is also we choose and we create those best projects to help customers who actually want stability and want product support 7-10 years. We see that across industries, and that's why I'll touch on what is enterprise open source. What does that mean? So we also have a number of tools. When I visited most of the system integrators here, a very large percentage use Eclipse on Windows, and we support that, actually. Our developer, even if we are Red Hat, and we sometimes get a little bit of hammering with the pure Linux group, is like, what do you present with a Mac? What do you present with a Windows? And for us, we do what our users do. And I think that's very important, although we like Mac too. So, and Windows. And so I'll talk also about cloud capabilities. I think last year I've done a survey. I think a certain percentage of you have moved their workload to the cloud, or even have used OpenShift. Actually, I was talking to some university students, and I think in Pune at PICT, and I was really surprised that actually a lot of them raised their hands like, we use OpenShift. Can you answer some question on the Node.js cartridge? So it was really, really nice to see that they were doing their project on OpenShift, on the cloud, storing their code on GitHub, because they know as students, I'm going to have a better chance than anyone else to find a job. People will know, they can interview me just looking at my stuff. So I think it is, people start to get it, start to understand the power of open source and all these technologies. So we're not just Java, as I say. So we have not only, of course, the best of the first class of EE runtimes with Whitefly, but now we also acquired Feedhenry, which is also a Node.js based. We also have a OSDI team. We actually support Karaf in some of our products around automation, and of course Objective-C and Swift. So this is something we take very much, very seriously. And we work with the big guys like Google and Twitter, and they use our technology. I mean, Glassfish use our CDI implementation. Facebook, also Google and Twitter use Netty, our async non-blocking I/O framework. Okay, so how do you get started? It's enough talking. So what do you do when you go out of that room and you say, oh, maybe I'll have a look? And you just register on jboss.org, or you go and download the Developer Studio. It's an Eclipse-based. So we actually, there's a project called JBoss Tools. All the plugins that you spend time to assemble, you don't have to do that. Eclipse, JBoss Developer Studio has that all ready for you. And you can either take one of the big example we have, like the pet shop in the old days. Now we call it the ticket monster. That assemble a lot of the technologies and demonstrate them to you in one single application. However, if you are just a Java developer, you have to work maybe on a JPA component, you can actually go to the quick start. We have 150 quick start, which basically with Maven dependency, everything, you just go get my quick start on JPA. Or you can maybe JMS. Maybe also you want to work with data grid, in-memory data grid. We have quick start for that. You want an enterprise integration. You want to do an FTP, use a Camel FTP adapter to get data out of the DMZ and use it internally. So you can do that. All is here. Use cases and API are all as quick start. So I think this is something we've been growing all over the years. And if you have edge cases or things that doesn't exist, you're welcome to contribute them. We also have a very great community, forums, and the developers are there to answer your questions, because it will be as good as we all make it. Yeah. Sorry, that's this one. Yep. So JBoss Depot Studio is based on Eclipse 4.4 Luna. It comes with native support for Forge. Forge is actually, when we talk about accelerate, is actually a project that helps you scaffold everything that you need, in your project. Whether it's you need JPA, whether you need HTML5, Angular, jQuery, although we're looking at Ionic right now. That is natively supported. You can do that. And we do demo at our booth. I won't do that here. We don't have time. But you can do a project within 5 minutes and deploy it to the cloud with added security, probably within 10 minutes. So you can have a mobile app to do a to-do list in about 10 minutes. Sebastian demonstrated it about a couple of times yesterday and the day before. I will be very happy to run that for you again if you have questions. And mobile, of course, as I said. So AngularJS, there's of course a very nice explorer for JavaScript. There is a code completion. There is also HTML attributes, etc. completion. So it's very, very advanced, very well integrated. You don't have to do that. Forge, again, you can sometimes, people say, oh, Forge is nice. It creates a nice scaffolding for my application. But my enterprise, my company, have totally different ways of doing things. Guess what? You can actually create your own Forge plugin to do exactly that. So again, it's about automating your development teams. If you have a large shop and you want to have standards across your organization, then you can do a Forge plugin and basically they roll out, create new project. I want these JPA entities. I want to scaffold maybe with witch faces or Angular on top. You do that very, very quickly, okay? Mobile support, so we've been adding that for already a couple of years now. And with Cordova support, with also a SIM viewer, so and live reload capabilities, so you can actually change your code and see directly the effect on your browser. And of course, with Cordova, we have iOS and Android support. With the recent Fidenry acquisition, we go beyond. We have most of the devices, even the Amazon one we saw yesterday from the Amazon booth. And so we support that, and that's Sebastian have actually done that integration. So who has been using Docker containers here? Can you raise the hand just to get a feel? Yeah, that's coming up, yes. And I've seen that when I visit the different IT shops here, talking to CIOs. They're really looking at using Docker. There is different advantage of using Docker, but what is Docker? I think Docker is something we have started to embrace for different reasons. Sorry, up. So in my job, we do also every day when we do the Whitefly, all our project, we have 80 of them, and we have a large farms of machines to do test on different JDK, test on different operating system. There's a number of different configurations, about 80 different metrics of test. Or every time we do a pull, even test against the common vulnerability, because when you build your code, you want to make sure you haven't, it's safe. So we test it against the known vulnerabilities, and we do static analysis. So we have some Maven plugin that show that all the time. We used to do that with the traditional hypervisors and and all the virtual machines. Now we actually spins Docker images. So I think that's something we use that may not be something that is needed for you, but we've extended that to, guess what, to all our projects, for the reason that physical server typically take a day or more, or 2 or 3 days, depending if you have a long provisioning process. But virtual machine a little bit faster, but with containers is in seconds, and 10 seconds, it's quite long. Actually, on my laptop, I can spend 20 containers running Java EE7 full. So I think it's a totally different game. A much higher density, much higher productivity, and less energy. So guess what? So we took all our project, and if you use Docker today, it's just at the Docker pool away. We've done it for Whitefly, for our mobile services. If you want to build a mobile solution and you need online SSO IDM capabilities, which we've done with Keycloak, and we have great demos. I think if you want, you create let's say I want to create an HTML5 based mobile applications with social logins. You can actually use the AeroGear project and the Keycloak project. The Keycloak project will say, okay, I add this capability. It's just a click away. You just bind it to your application, and next time you reload it, it's there. So I think when we talk about accelerate, it's fantastic. That's what we get. God, I have only 1 minute left, and I have about 2 hours and 300 pages left. I have to operate faster. So I'm going to go. So we have EAP4 that we just released. It's EE6. We also brought some of the great stuff from EE7, WebSocket, and other standards, some increments of the APIs. We also have been Common Criteria certified level 4+, which is the highest in the industry. Whitefly 9 is our project that that's where all the innovation happens. Again, here it's extremely fast. We support HTTP2 and fall back on Speedy if that's not supported. Also, intelligent load balancing. That means we can actually create the state of the server at the front end, not just a pure round robin, with mod proxy or mod JK. You can actually have information back with mod cluster and make this routing decision based on intelligent decisions. Yeah. We also have different distribution. Is also embeddable now, so you'll be happy, guys. You can replace JT with our stuff. Yep. Okay, timeout. So we have also, as I say, automate before. So we have business process management, business rules. So we have the whole set, which is XPath. Last year I explained XPath. Today I'll just give you the latest status and what we've done. So we've put all our product on the cloud. The application server, the integration server, and the automation part and the integration part, and also mobility. So you can do everything that you used to do on your laptop, you can do it on OpenShift. I think that's the great advancement we've done since last year's presentation. For a whole year we've been working. It's not a simple thing, it's a unified and coherent integration. Okay? Okay, so open source is all around us. We serve 90% of all Fortune 500. We work with all these guys. And in the last many years, the open source has driven most of the adoption. That hasn't happened in proprietary software. So, and proof is that even Microsoft worked with us. They created a .NET Foundation, and that's an excellent sign. Okay, so before I finish, I'd like you to give a couple of things. So we have actually caricature drawings on the booth. You can go there, and if you want to have a caricature of yourself, it's free. We also have a Loki Draw. If you love Raspberry Pi, now they have 4 cores, and you can run many JBoss on it. And also we have Arun Gupta's book that's here, available for you. And live demo with Sebi and Vinit, okay? So thank you very much. And it was great to see you again. Thank you.